put up in the latter part of that first half, but unfortunately didn't inspire what they needed to then come through and pull off an incredible second half, which would have been necessary. Now it's Inferno, a map where unfortunately UNGENTIUM don't have a ton of experience in recent times, and on the other hand, Bad News Eagles, this is one that they tend to favor towards, so I'm expecting this one to be pretty rough for them. It's looking like the 2-0 will be coming true. Who knows? There's still a small chance they can pull it off and get us towards Dust 2, where things would be, as we were saying, a bit more of a middle ground. It's like we're slightly delayed on the start here. I'm not sure what the issue is.
This is looking mad scuffed. I feel like this has to be warm-up still.
Yeah, definitely. I think it may have started and an issue happened and they called for a stop.
There we go.
Yeah, here we go. We're starting it now. So maybe a misfire or something along those lines.
I suppose if you're looking for silver linings for UNGENTIUM, they do get to start CT side, get the pistol, roll a few rounds together, build a little confidence, right? Because that Ancient will not have inspired much, if any, in them so far. bNE leaning into the utility in this one as well. A full execute on the cards with 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a Molotov to follow. And it looks like they want to just hold off and wait out any opening aggression from the CT side, of which there is a bit towards top B.
Yeah, there's a bit towards top B, but then there's a lot more presence in on B itself as well. This is a heavy stack at the moment, and well, the correct decision is being made to bring this towards A. They need to move fast, though. That flank should be able to catch one flat throw, never mind. Gets a little bit of a notifier that there is at least one player moving in from the bottom of mid as well. They've left one behind to hold on to that, and CSGO, realizing that there's a ton of presence, needs to get in towards that bomb site where they do trade out. And well, that lurker in towards long is going to find some success as well. Getting the bomb down, though, I was going to say might have been some trouble, but well, that smoke should give them the room to do so. 3-on-2 after plant, and well, no kick currently in the possession of UNGENTIUM, rather. I don't think they actually had one.
The timing's all over the shop. Absolute chaos in this pistol. The backstab needing to come in swiftly here. As Synopsyy toys with the apartments player, rips his head clean off. And now just Sydney, nothing doing as Scenario puts him down. That was a very chaotic pistol, Dean. Fast B aggression from the CT side. Missed timings left, right, and center on that flank as well. T side just about managing to swing. Mathy somehow from inside of the site plays the smokes to get 2. Like, it just absolute madness, and unfortunately the madness really seems to favor bNE, right? We were talking about before this one got started, you know, the firepower differential, the fact that bNE really should feel comfortable in having the firepower advantage, the stats not looking great for UNGENTIUM. So you don't really want to be falling into those sort of chaotic patterns, because as soon as you do, you're feeding into the natural aimers, the one flatros, the Scenarios, Synopsies, the Rigons of the world, and just making it that little bit easier for them.
It's just started absolutely lashing rain. Hopefully you can hear that in the background. Very loud for some reason. Scenario though, nice little catch of 2. All things considered, it shouldn't be too much of an issue since they've already sent presents up into the bedroom, and with that one, Fletcher was able to pop out and deal with the remaining players before that weapon can become any sort of trouble. Quick 2-0, a small bit of damage at least being dealt out, and considering UNG didn't invest in that round, I think they can be relatively happy with how it played out. This is where we really find out what they have to give us here on Inferno, and it really needs to be this first gun round where they come alive. Otherwise, it's just instantly going to be reminiscent of how things played out on Ancient, and I think at that point it starts maybe getting in the mind of UNG a small bit. I don't care how good of a team you are and how much experience you have. After a 16-4 loss, if things look like they're trending in that direction again on the second map, you're not going to be inspired with confidence.
Yeah, it's going to make it feel just that little bit worse. Default setup into this one. A little bit of utility forces the CTs back off the opening banana aggression. And what looks like an apps pop to be called here, just to charge on out into the A site, try and get that Mac 10 up close and personal. Early trades are decent. Synopsyy finds a second, and now it's just those rotations coming in from long, but Synopsyy continuing to frag out. Has a low HP byali next up to be chopped on down, and well, Prism 1v4, and they're going to hunt this as well. RigoN is not willing to let sleeping dogs lie. It's a clean 3-0, 4 players kept alive. And UNGENTIUM, I mean, I'd like to see them take a pause already, Dean, just to slow this down.
Yeah, I mean, now or going into the next gun round, either could work. Maybe now would have been a better idea so that they can make the most of the small investment that they're actually going to have into this round, but would still be okay if it comes out before this next gun round. That's got to be the main focus either way. You've got 2 players so far who haven't even got on the board. Prism, I think he started off James Bond on that previous map as well, so hopefully he can come to life a little bit earlier here. Is the CT side really Maddie to have the majority of his op success, so he can get that out into this next gun round as well. There's a ton of damage actually done in the early moments here. No kills from UNG, and they have actually lost a player peeking down mid, but there's a chance for maybe 2 or 3 players to be finished off. Land a couple of headshots with these weaker weapons, and unfortunately the AK is making that a bit of an issue. One flat throw creeping up short, nearly creeping into the crossfire, but managing to spot the head of the first player before doing so, rather. That'll let him handle things pretty securely, and with that they can just walk the bomb to A, of course. Looks like they're actually willing to try and hunt those remaining 2 players towards B.
Yeah, not sure about this one.
Yeah.
Feels like a bit of an ego call, doesn't it? It's just, we're not going to let them save a deagle and a USP. Like, okay. It's not necessarily the smartest call in the world, especially considering they've got, 2 rifles, both of whom are, well, one's definitely a one-shot headshot for the USP. I think RIGON would take one to the dome and then one to the body as well. Perhaps would do well just to hold off, and I think they are actually just going to hold, see if they can get something on exit. But a 4-0 start for bNE. T side of Inferno as well. They're going to be more than happy with this. All 5 players kept up in this one. Economy blossoming nicely for the T side. The problems, it feels, only just beginning for UNGENTIUM.
Yeah, I mean, the positive in that is that it is still early days, so they can still turn things around. It's not as far out of control as it was on Ancient, but as we said, it's getting reminiscent. I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu. More importantly, Bad News Eagles are also on the T side right now. If they keep on grinding things up like this, they're already going to have a half that'll be far too far out of control to be recovered. Team Maddie, as I said, has the op now. They have good utility. Really lacking on the CT side, and on the early stages, it looks like they do want to try and at least show some presence here around Banana. I'd imagine going in, there's already 1 player though who's pushed forward a bit, so unless there's another molly to flush that corner out, I don't think they really have the ability to actually push in for control, and they themselves realise that. Show the initial presence, fall back off. The problem is, Bad News Eagles, they know that no one is actually committed to this control, so they're not going to waste a ton of time. They'll be able to move in and just get this control, but that nade makes it at least somewhat costly.
Nice little chip. Good damage. And a lot of utility bled out from bNE as well. Minute and 10, 4 smokes remaining. Retake utility actually to come in from the CT side as well towards top of B, and there's nothing this T side can really do about it. Gonna boost up over the half wall, flashes to follow the retake to try and land here. Multiple bodies committed to it. Sydney with the early spray down immediately. GXX is there with the trade, and now the B site in trouble. CT smoke, but they're gonna disrespect it, and from new boxes, Prism has got a lot to do here. 3 players already up through pool. The pop flash to get him out, but one flat throw fully blind takes advantage of the health. Prism already tagged down in those opening moments, makes it all the more difficult. Now the man advantage make it 2 as byali a little too keen and the smoke a little too fast to fade, and already look at the call from Synopsyy. He wants to take everything away from this CT side. Matthew is left in the 1v4. And well, it's a 1v4 for his own survival, quite frankly, because Scenario is not going to let him get away easily. Nice shot for the first. Pins it in from just about everywhere, however. It was only going to be a matter of time, and one flat throws the man to put him down 5-0.
It does seem like they're just a bit outmatched at the moment, unfortunately. I know his Eagles came out swinging today.
To say the least. They are flying.
I mean, there's so little to break down because they're just being overrun no matter what happens. You can see that they have some ideas. I mean, they wanted the banana control in the last round, but Bad News Eagles decide that they themselves are going to attempt some quick control. So they had put down the deep molly. They had stopped any sort of aggression from coming in. So all they've done was just run down the utility, which already wasn't perfect for the CT side. And peeking mid this time around with their pistols and such is not going to work out for them either. A bit of damage done, but it doesn't matter when the numbers just keep on dwindling. One flat throw takes down the last of the A defense, and if they wanted now, they could just run that bomb in, but it doesn't really matter. They have a minute and a half, they have a 5-on-2, as long as they stick together on this, really. It shouldn't be too much trouble to deal with, at least not too much that they can't handle.
Split pistols between the two sides. You've got a deagle over on B, you've got a 5-7 over on A. How much damage can you realistically get? It's a nice effort from byali. One flat throw down to 2 HP after the dink.
Shaky spray.
Yeah, a little bit rough around the edges, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, it's one of those ones where if this is 3-all and that's the spray that gets him killed against a rifle, which it probably would have done and makes things awkward, then sure, it matters. But when you're 10-1, you're going to be 6-0 up. You've taken your opposition's map pick 16-4. You can forgive those sort of small things. I'm sure Stickle, the bNE coach, will be giving him a little bit of stick for it and making sure they correct those small issues afterwards. But so far, again, very clean round from bNE. And again, I want to see the pause from UNGENTIUM because it just feels like this series now is running away from them rapidly.
Just to add, I don't think he would have committed to that spray if he was against the rifle right there. He would have went for the quick burst, reset, and gone for another if things weren't going too well. I think the fact that he was against the pistol, he was like, you know what, screw it, I'll try and hit this long range spray, a little bit of practice. I think that's literally what it was. But yeah, I'm very surprised we haven't gotten this pause you've been calling for. You should perhaps be the one on the server typing pause for them because they need a bit of time to chat. We'll see whether things turn around in their favor or not now. And while it's a decent start with Matty getting that initial kill, unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. GXX is off, is able to very quickly get a return kill. Although, with a ton of damage being taken, one flat throw decides to push through that long smoke as well. Again, overconfidence at points can cost you, especially when UNGENTIUM have already called for this rotation heavily towards the A bomb site, and some risks with these peaks are being taken. But they're working out, the shots are landing. This is looking a little bit better from UNG and definitely are on track to take their first round. It's going to have to be something they can build on top of as well. And the economy is already ridiculous for bNE.
GXX just to look for exit kills here, but the HE will put him down. Nice start from UNGENTIUM. Good use of the AWP to open things up as well. Problem is, as you said, it's not going to get any easier. The economy is ridiculous for bNE. They will be buying immediately and look to make some corrections. Mathy, how many times can he recreate a full blind shot on a nice timing to open things up is the question. Need a lot out of him here, it feels, for UNGENTIUM to really get going. As bNE look to adjust.
The idea of a bit more heavy presence towards Banana. Not really able to take the peak though, as I said. Early molly comes up from the tees, it stops that peak from coming through. Instead, a boost over the wall coming in. A very quick flick down onto RigoN's head. And well, I don't like the three of them being kind of stuck around sandbags right now, but it is a good opening that they've found for themselves. And it was necessary because they used pretty much all of their utility in order to get that early presence in the hope of finding something. But landing there, I believe, on Scenario as well. Might have been a nade, but I'm pretty sure the wall bank hit him down to 47, but he's still willing to take the risk going through that smoke. Flash in from his teammate allows for the numbers to very quickly be evened up.
They want to go off the back of that as well. Orp looking to play on the angle, knows he's got to get proactive with it. There's bodies there for him, hits the first, can't quite react in time to double it. Sydney now up into CT with a lot to do. 3-on-3, the spam through, just trying to bait them across. And Synopsy playing with fire here, tagged again. We'll be able to transfer that bomb to the site. 3-on-3, gonna be the afterplant. Synopsy looking to punch in the numbers, takes a little more damage on his exit. The retake, not in a great position either. Look at the utility this CT side have got left. One flashbang. That will try to pop them into the angles. Synopsy playing inside of the smoke though, unexpected, and he gets two. Last man finally puts him down, but the trade is instantaneous from Juan Flatro. And Synopsy, just a little bit of magic from inside of that smoke. Lightning fast reactions to find the kills. And Bad News Eagles immediately back to their winning ways. And that's going to be a huge concern again for UNGENTIUM.
To say the least. I mean, even if UNG had taken that round, it would have been one, at least, if not two more rounds before they could have actually broken down the economy of bNE. So it was a long road ahead of them, no matter what, to try and start building up the CT side. And for them to only be able to get a single round before kind of stumbling again here is going to make things that much harder. A bit more standard on the CT hold this time around as well. They don't have the utility to try and get as aggressive as they did before, at least not around Banana. Instead, a bit of a crazy push there up through apartments, which doesn't work out all that well. was a bit of success, I believe, back towards the stairs at least. So the trades come in initially, and they're going to continue actually to do so. Unfortunately for UNG, though, it's going to work out for bNE as they catch both of those players pushing forward on B and have just completely stolen the bomb site. Decent read by byali, though, to check top oranges.
No bomb. They got to go back. They got to go all the way back. And Matthew is actually... He was waiting for this push-out balcony. Oh, that timing. ESL should know what's up here as well. The timings are... Oh, they're ridiculous. Spotted. Flatro can't land the shot, however. And now this gets awkward. Matthew is just lurking in the apartments. Teammate rotating in support as well. This is a nice little crossfire between Library and the apps. Matthew flashed out to take the peek, but he can't land the shot, and it's all on byali, who's tapped away by ESL. bNE a little scrappy there, to say the least, not taking the bomb into that B site. A missed shot from GXX, but again, just the firepower of ESL with Flatro there to back him up, able to wrench that 2-on-2 in their favor. And again, at this point, I mean, guaranteed lead at the half for bNE and UNGENTIUM. They need to turn the tide, and it needs to be done now.
Running out of opportunities. I mean, surprisingly even looks worse than what we got on Ancient. I mean, not all that surprisingly, considering we, of course, know this is Bad News Eagle's map, and UNG don't really play it that much, but it's more so the fact that Ancient already felt so hopeless that I thought it could only really be upwards from there, no matter what the stats may have said. The B stack coming in, taking a gamble. I do like it. We'll see whether it pays off, though, with time, and the moment bNE have plenty of time to make their decision, as they can just probe around the map and see exactly what may be going on. It does seem like they want to favor towards B, though. A little bit of presence towards A, some utility being tossed over, and then a push towards B, which might backfire.
Plenty of presence here. 4 bodies, pistols, as we've seen so many times, can do so much work, but ESL already thinning the numbers. Scenari finding one more. Through the edge of the smoke will wrench one back, and he's still got Sydney in support here. This could still be dangerous. And I think the T side have just started to realize that as well. They've smelt the rat. 2 players inside of the site, more bodies, more smokes. They know there's presence. So they'll leave CSGO on the lurk and start to put pressure back over towards this A site, where Matthew cuts a very isolated figure inside of those apartments. CSGO is spotted, but that is a disgusting one tap. Deals with Sydney. And as Matthew finds one, it will bait him out into the crosshairs of the rest. And, well, Groovy's on completely the wrong side to do anything about it. Good Deagle spam, but not good enough. Bad News Eagles. As you said, a risky situation, but only for a couple of seconds. They read it well. Their 9th is on the board. And this game, again, slowly but surely starts to feel like it's slipping away from UNGENTIUM.
Yeah, we keep saying slowly, but I mean, it's not creeping up on us. We've seen this happening. It's like if I ended up £400, I'd have gotten there gradually, as this has gotten pretty bad as well, you know? I'd have had to have kept on eating, and for UNG, things have just kept on going poorly. Not something that can creep up on you. Still, it does feel like it should be able to give us a little bit more. I mean, names like byali, Ruby, Matty as well, his stats have been nuts on this team. I was expecting a lot more, and maybe he'll hear my call out now. Sometimes that's all they need. Nade into the, maybe do some damage. Not quite finishing ESL though, unfortunately. In one Flatro, he has the time, and here's the smoke. Somehow survives being traded from the pit as well. Only takes 5 damage. What the hell happened?
It must have been through the wall. That is ridiculous. And he's going to go off the back of that as well. Trying to continue to apply pressure in towards the pit. Playing around the edge of his smoke. He's got half an angle here. Will be tagged down through it. byali, a wise veteran, knows the tricks. And the man advantage now here for UNGENTIUM. Something to work with. ESL finds one, but byali again is there for the trade, and he's got support through the arches now. Bomb on the back of CSGO has gone down. GXX again struggling to rein in the shots. And UNGENTIUM will have their 2nd round on the board. The CT side starting to kick into life, but it needs to keep going. I mean, 9-6, bare minimum, right? CT side Inferno, and the money is just going to keep on flowing for bNE.
A start again, at least. Last time we seen them with this opportunity, they weren't able to capitalize on it. The economy's actually in a worse position this time around, though. They've at least been able to scrap a bit more throughout the round since then. So if they can win this, one more gun round on top of it, suddenly they have a decent chance of actually coming out with 6, as you were saying. So see what they can do. push up banana. Prism with a wild spam back and forth eventually comes out with the kill on CSNOPSYy. GXX, though, very quickly into the apartments there with the up, manages to catch Groovy off guard. You don't really expect the T-side upper to be playing that aggressive, so Groovy was just caught with his pants down. It's going to be a quick push on towards A, it looks like, and they're actually going to try and wrap it. A flash through the long smoke. There's 2 players for 1 flat throw to deal with, and this time the spray is pretty much perfect. Sure, Prism was low, but he needed to snap onto him there very, very fast indeed. And, well, with only Matty left standing on the bomb site itself on 10 health there, he's going to be dealt with by the nade. And, I mean, if you're Sydney at this point, you're saving surely just so you have the weapon to work with, because everyone else's economy is completely ruined.
You wouldn't think there's many other options. Just trying to hold on inside of this B side, but he's going to be hunted down. They'll throw the kitchen sink. 3 players, in fact. Molotovs to try and flush him into the open. Gets the first. Grabs the second as well. And, I mean, at this point, as you said, the economy's been scrapping. Not sure bNE will necessarily want to commit the AWP into that fight as well. So GXX will just back off to the corner. Holds on to that rifle at the very least. Does Sydney, and that will allow him to drop, maybe even drop the AWP across to Matthew, and that's exactly what the call is. It's not a bad little look for UNGENTIUM. They'll still be able to buy into this one. Sacrifice is made of the MP9s of Groovy and byali. bNE, you'd have to say, in a commanding position on their map pick now. 10-5, maybe UNGENTIUM can dream of a pistol round that starts to drag them back into this series, but needs somebody to start stepping up right on that CT side, because at the moment UNGENTIUM are just going without a whimper.
Bring Sydney down to 52 already. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but considering how the game's going, those little bits of damage are just so uninspiring, and RIGON reads the boost. Matty's head's gone. The op, I don't think even really given the time to be recovered. Instead, Prism is hoping for the trade around the edge of the smoke, and RIGON is just going to keep causing havoc on B. A one-tap on byali as well. Instantly swapped to the knife. He was fully confident that that was going to land. That nade should maybe even finish Sydney. No, not quite. He gets out a boiler in time, but they know at least one of these players is over towards A. I was going to say they could run the bomb to B, but it looks like instead they're just going to wrap in and get those kills for themselves, and it's RIGON looking for the ace. There it is. That was nasty. Absolutely nasty.
That was cruel as well. Like, he's killed 3 players on B. They know the B site is open, and bNE are just like, nope, nope, we're going to take these rifles away. We're going to make this as difficult as possible. And that, yeah, that was kind of tough to watch. Not gonna lie, this is feeling really rough for UNGENTIUM. And again, I've not seen the pause yet. I've not seen anything to stop the momentum, right? There's been isolated rounds of CT side, but nothing with any real consistency and nothing to break up what at the moment is a landslide T side for bNE. GXX again getting an early pick. This time Groovy goes down. byali will at least trade for 1, but again, the bodies are hitting the floor alarmingly quickly, and RIGON is really feeling it now. 16 and 7 in this second map. He was a little slow in map 1, so perhaps making up for it now as he posts his team's 12th T-side round on Inferno.
Just a ridiculous beginning to the season for Bad News Eagles. I would say this is, on paper, probably the easiest of the games in the group, but just to handle this so swiftly is obviously a fantastic way to kick things off, and we'll see who they actually play in their next matchup as well, between the winner of Falcons and Ecstatic, where I think they probably will be challenged a bit more at the very least, but I would maybe still put them as the favourite if they play like this. That's ridiculous. It didn't even look like it was on initially.
When it rains, it pours, man. When it rains, it pours. Early 3-on-5. Matthew trying to wrestle back some control of the situation. The problem is, as he gets a kill, immediately CSNOPSYy finds one in response over towards B. And again, just losing numbers. That bomb can head over towards the B bomb site quite happily. Matthew's covering half a dozen angles at once. They know where the last man is as well now. And they're going to hunt him. Again, bNE know they've got this B site. They don't care. They just want to deny everything. And it's a 13-2 half. bNE dominating and looking to finish it after the break.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Well, this one doesn't feel like it's going to be going for too much longer, but UNGENTIUM may be an opportunity to surprise us here. Pistol absolutely necessary and a lot more needed from there on in, Dean.
Yeah, we thought Ancient was rough. It's only gotten worse, really, as we came onto Inferno here. They do have the opportunity at least to set the pace here now on the T side. One Flatro looking for that early aggression up into the apartments. I thought you might have just jumped for the info instead, wanting the full-on fight. Already dinked down incredibly low. Somehow, I was going to say, surviving a lot longer than I'd expect. But he's being dealt with. An opening kill. No damage really sustained either for UNG. So a nice opportunity to hopefully build towards a pistol round win.
A much needed opening kill, man advantage for the first time in a while. Make it 2 as Groovy doubles his account and GXX. An isolated fight leads to the 1-for-1, and this is more like it in Gentium. CSGO left last alive, does find at least a kill, but a 1v3 to follow and already being hunted down by the likes of byali. Won't expect him to be so close to the angle, and UNGENTIUM, they take the much needed pistol a start. They need so much more where that came from. Eco to follow will allow them to just at least pad it by another round before things start to get ugly again and start to show us what their T side's really made of.
Yeah, maybe they're really good on the T side. As we had said, although they don't play this map often and they haven't played it in quite a while, their most recent game 2 months back was against K23 and they only lost that 14-16, so clearly there was something they had there on Inferno, just didn't really bother going back to it, but I do believe it was their T side where they found most of their success as well with a 10-5 half. So maybe there is some hope to be had. Out in some pistols bought for bNE, they definitely want to force the issue. As Sineri jumps past the player close on the half wall, manages to actually get the kill on Prism deep in on Banana. The problem is they don't realize this player is close, but a 1-for-1 trade will be plenty. That is worthwhile. They get a weapon out of it. It's a Galil. They had also taken the advantage already at the bottom of Banana, and with GXX landing the headshot on byali there with a nice little up flick, it's going to be a 4-on-2 that is just spiraling out of control for UNG.
Oh, not like this, not like this. 5-7 of one Flatro gets another one. This shouldn't be allowed to happen. This all starts because they get a P250 kill through smoke while Sydney is sat in the top banana smoke, letting them past. And then the butterfly effect unravels it into this. A 1v4 attempt for Groovy. He gets the first. CSGO next up on the chopping block. There's low HP bars here, but one Flatro puts an end to it before it gets too much more awkward. And 14 on the board off the back of the force buy for the Bad News Eagles. That was the round that UNGENTIUM just should have been taken, right? It should have been clean. They give isolated picks up across the map. Rifles, as you said, recoverable. And from there, it all just spirals out of control. Leaves UNGENTIUM with Deagles, a full rifle buy from bNE. And, well, that CT side just 2 rounds away from finishing it clean.
Not looking like there's going to be much of a fight put back by UNG this time, unfortunately. Won't be the end of their season or anything, but it's certainly not the start that they were hoping for. On the other hand, bNE couldn't have asked for a stronger way to come out in this season. Really, even a fight being put up across 2 maps from UNG. Kevlar fully invested into here as well, so the investment pretty much as good as it's going to get within these last 2 rounds. Maybe they'll have a few more nades in the following, but I don't think it's going to do them much good as Groovy's left alone. He's down Banana, peeks down mid as well. 0 Fs given, basically, at this point from bNE. As things kind of started going on at Ancient as well, we started seeing them going for risky plays and just not really caring anymore. And with how skilled they are, it works in games like this.
It's the problem of when bNE get, as you said, almost into that flow state, right, where nothing is going wrong for them. How do you reasonably stop it? And UNGENTIUM, I think, as we pointed out in the pre-game, maybe lacking firepower a little bit. I think certainly lacking the star power for moments like this when things really start to unravel and you need someone to, you know, wrestle control of a round of a map back. Just hasn't felt like they've had those pieces now. And as you said, the disrespect continuing. 3 quick kills. They're looking to get this one done swiftly. One Flatro in with 1 more, and, well, it's stat padding at this point. One Flatro will take it 22-6, and it will be bNE who take it 2-0. I think probably the most dominant game we've seen in 2-3 seasons of Challenger League. A really comprehensive performance from bNE. And I think it's one that they would have wanted to be putting out, right? Obviously, ending up in relegation last season, really on and off with their form. You know, we saw so much from them at the major, then they went away and things got a little all over the shop. There was good and there was bad.